Imagine your beliefs could land you in a den full of hungry lions. Sounds wild, right? Well, this isn't just a tale. It's the incredible story of Daniel, a guy with amazing faith and even more amazing protection. Today we're diving into one of the most thrilling stories ever told, Daniel versus the lions. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Our story takes us to the Grand Persian Empire, ruled by the powerful King Darius. The king had a favorite advisor, a man of exceptional wisdom and integrity named Daniel. This wasn't just any advisor. Daniel was the top man, respected throughout the kingdom for his skill and his unwavering character. Daniel wasn't just smart, he was deeply devoted to his God, praying 3 times a day, every single day. This dedication made him stand out, but it also made him a target for those who envied his position. Other high-ranking officials in the kingdom grew intensely jealous of Daniel's favor with the king. They saw his influence and wanted it for themselves, but they had a major problem. Daniel was blameless. His record was spotless. They couldn't find any fault in his work or his character, no matter how hard they looked. Frustrated, they realized they had to come up with a wicked plan to turn Daniel's strong faith against him. Knowing the king's respect for his own authority, these jealous officials approached King Darius with a cunning proposal. They suggested a new law, one designed to flatter the king's ego and ensnare their rival. The law stated that for the next 30 days, no one in the entire kingdom was allowed to pray to any god or man except King Darius himself. If you break this law, guess what? You're tossed right into a den of hungry lions. How wild is that? The king, not suspecting the trap hidden within their flattering words, liked the idea and signed the decree. And under Persian law, once a king's decree was signed, it could not be changed. The trap was officially set. Now, Daniel heard about the new law, knew exactly what it meant and who it was targeting. He had a choice to make, a monumental one. Obey the king and abandon his God, or remain faithful and face a terrifying, almost certain death. What would you do in his shoes? The pressure was immense. The stakes couldn't be higher, but for Daniel, the choice was clear. He went home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, as he always did, knelt down, and prayed to God, just as he had done every day of his life. He didn't hide. He didn't compromise. His faith was not a private matter to be practiced in secret. It was the very core of his being, a public testament to his devotion. The scheming officials were watching, of course, their plan unfolding perfectly. They caught Daniel in the act of praying and rushed to the king with their accusation. "Daniel," they said, "the man you favor so much is defying your decree. He is praying to his God." King Darius was devastated. He realized instantly that he had been tricked, his affection for Daniel cruelly used against him. The king spent the entire day trying to find a loophole, a way to save his trusted advisor, but the law was irreversible. His own words had cornered him, leaving him with no way out. With a heavy heart, the king had to give the order. As Daniel was led to the lion's den, the king's final words to him were filled with a flicker of desperate hope. "May your God, whom you serve so continually, rescue you." Daniel was then cast into the pit of lions, and a large stone was rolled over the entrance, sealed with the king's own ring. There was no escape. Imagine the scene: total darkness, the smell of dust and predators, and the sound of heavy breathing from the powerful beasts surrounding you. This is where Daniel spent the night. For most, it would be a night of pure terror, the last agonizing moments on earth. But for Daniel, it was a night of divine intervention, a testament to his unshakable faith. Meanwhile, King Darius couldn't sleep, spent the night fasting and worrying, his mind consumed by the fate of his friend. He refused any entertainment and felt the crushing weight of his decision. The suspense was unbearable. Had he just sent an innocent, righteous man to a horrific end? The long, dark night must have felt like an eternity. As soon as the sun began to rise, the king hurried to the den. His voice was filled with anguish as he called out into the pit. "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Aided, his heart pounding in the deafening silence, dreading the answer he expected to not receive. And then a voice came from the darkness of the pit. It was Daniel, calm and clear. "King, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight. Nor have I ever done any wrong before you, O king." Can you imagine the king's relief and joy? It was a miracle. The lions, known for their ferocious nature, had been as gentle as kittens all night. Daniel was lifted out of the den without a single scratch on him. The text says it was because he had trusted in his God. His faith wasn't just a passive belief. It was an act of trust that had unlocked divine protection in a seemingly impossible situation. The king, now convinced of the power of Daniel's God, was overjoyed but also furious at the men who had plotted against his friend. Justice was about to be served swiftly and decisively. King Darius ordered that the jealous officials, along with their entire families, be thrown into the same lion's den. And before they even reached the floor of the den, the lions, which had been so passive with Daniel, overpowered them. It was a clear and terrifying demonstration of divine justice and a complete validation of Daniel's innocence. But the story doesn't end there. This miracle had a profound effect on King Darius and his entire empire. He issued a new decree, this time to all the people in his vast kingdom. He declared that everyone should fear and revere the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, the decree read, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions. From a story fueled by jealousy and political intrigue, a powerful testimony of God's strength spread across the known world. Daniel's bravery in sticking to his faith, even in the face of death, inspired a king and an entire empire to recognize the one true God. So what can we take away from this powerful narrative? First, it's a story about the triumph of faith over fear. Daniel faced one of the most terrifying situations imaginable, yet his trust in God never wavered for a moment. This steadfastness became his shield. His commitment to prayer wasn't just a routine. It was his lifeline, his direct connection to the source of his strength. In our own lives, when we face our own lion's dens, be they challenges at work, personal struggles, or moments of deep uncertainty, this story reminds us that consistent faith can provide a foundation of peace and courage that surpasses all understanding. It teaches that what seems impossible from a human perspective is possible through faith. This isn't about expecting a life free of problems, but about having the assurance that we will be sustained through them, no matter how dire they appear. Finally, the story is a testament to integrity and justice. Daniel's character was so pure that his enemies had to invent a law specifically to trap him. His ultimate vindication and the king's conversion show that righteousness, in the end, prevails. It reinforces the idea that doing the right thing, even when it's hard and unpopular, is always the right choice. The story of Daniel in the lion's den is more than just an old tale. It's all about bravery and the incredible power of prayer. King Darius went from being a ruler controlled by his prideful officials to truly believing in Daniel's God, showing how one person's unwavering faith can spark amazing world-changing events. Thanks for diving into this with us. If you loved the story, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We're eager to hear your thoughts in the comments. Till next time, keep that curiosity alive and stay awesome and remain faithful.